Good evening everybody, I'm Kath from Make the Change. It's Wednesday evening and it's Let's Talk, and this evening I want to talk to you about how you can have or use a holistic approach to seasonal health issues. And tonight really I'm going to be talking about things like asthma, summer cold, hay fever, insect bites, going on to a little bit on sunburn, and also things like earache as well, which isn't nice for anybody. Okay, now where do I start really? Well, I'm going to start where my heart is, and that is with asthma. And the reason I'm particularly interested in asthma is because I have been an asthma sufferer. Now this started for me when my children were both small, sort of toddlers, babies and toddlers, and pushing them both in the pram. And I hadn't really struggled with it before, but suddenly, pushing the pram and walking two dogs, I was starting to get breathless. And when I was at the doctor's, I think it might have been with one of the children, and the doctor had said to me, is there anything else? And I said yes, and I explained this issue, and he said stop walking the dogs. And I thought, you know what, that is the most useless bit of advice I have ever been given. And so I struggled with asthma, because it gradually got worse. And then I accidentally fell into using the doTERRA essential oils when I was running a course with somebody who is now my upline manager for doTERRA essential oils. And it was January, I'd had a terrible winter with my asthma, that horrible asthma tight cough every night. I felt as if I was overdosing on my inhaler, but things had started to get a little bit better. And it was one of those days I thought, do I take my inhaler with me or don't I? And I opted not to. So 10 minutes into the course, sorry, I lost my pad there. 10 minutes into the course, that horrible tight asthma cough started. And my manager said, just stop a minute. And she went and rummaged in a little box, and she found out this little bottle. And she told me to hold my hand out, which I did. She put a little drop of oil on my finger and told me to rub it there. Okay. And just breathe. And so I did. And that cough stopped. And I didn't cough that night, and not for lots of previous nights afterwards. Now that there, and also I rub it at my throat now because I find that really helps as well. That little bottle is called juniper berry, and that is, one drop of that is what started me on working with doTERRA essential oils. Okay, so that really helps that nasty tight asthma cough that you get. You'll know what I mean if you are an asthma sufferer. Okay. So then what I started to do was to experiment with some of the different oils where I could breathe better. Okay. And, with the support of my up manager. And there are a whole host of different oils that help you do that. And it really depends on, I use them for different things depending on how badly I'm feeling. But I can say now that I haven't used an inhaler for over a year, and I'm really proud of that fact. And when I do feel as if I'm as if I'm struggling, as if my lungs are struggling a little bit, I know which oils to go to and which suit me best at different times of the day and at different parts of my health. So for example, having a cold will really affect my respiratory system. So I have like a little course of different oils that I use, and I will run this through with you. Okay, so when I've got a cold, okay, my go-to oils are, yes I have, these two. Eucalyptus and melaleuca. Okay, now for me, because I'm talking from my own experience here, these work really, really well. Okay, so eucalyptus, as we know, is great for opening up the respiratory system. Okay, and melaleuca is, one of the great properties about melaleuca is it's an anti-inflammatory. And as we know, or may not know, basically what happens when you have asthma is you have an infection in your lungs. It makes your lungs become inflamed, and so therefore your lungs aren't working so well. Okay, so what I do is I put a little drop of both on the palm of my hand. Okay, I rub my hands together. I'll just put these little bottles down a minute. I rub the palms of my hands together. Don't get it on your fingers because you don't want it in your eyes. All right, and I don't get it in my eyes because I've got my glasses on. And cup your hands like that and hold it up to your face, okay, and take some lovely deep breaths in. Okay, now also what I do with this oil is I tend to put it on the back of my head, back of my neck there, and rub it on my throat and also on my chest as well. And very, very quickly, that helps to ease my cold. All right, so if I can ease the symptoms of my cold, I am then sort of helping to support my immune system from it affecting my lungs so much. Okay, now another great oil when you've got a cold or any sort of bacterial infection is On Guard. This is a lovely, lovely oil, and this is a perfect oil for all sorts of different health issues that are going on. Now this has got clove in it, it's got, I'm trying to see here because I can't remember offhand, I'm afraid, eucalyptus in, and it smells absolutely gorgeous, and it will help your respiratory system as well. Now often when I get a cold, and I have felt as if I've had a little cold coming in the last couple of weeks, and I've had a little bit of an earache, is that I will use On Guard and melaleuca together. Okay, I love that combination. So again, I put a little bit on the palm of my hand of both. Rub my palms together, cup them, hold them up to my nose, and I breathe it in. Okay, now if I've got a little bit of earache, okay, I will then actually sit for a few minutes and I will cup my hands to my ears. All right, the excess that's on my hands, I'll even just rub behind my ear and just not right inside, all right, you never put anything in your ear, but just around my ear, okay, on both sides, so that the oils get nearer to where the infection is. Okay, now again, earache is about inflammation, okay, and it's about keeping your airways open, which is what the On Guard, because it's got eucalyptus in there and it's got the clove, and then with the melaleuca as well, that is, you know, ears, nose and throat, as you know, are all connected. Okay, so breathing it in is going to get right to the heart of the matter very, very quickly. Okay, and then what I even do sometimes is the excess, I'll just put it inside of my nostrils as well. And again, use what is left on your hands. Put it on the back of your neck, just at the bottom of your skull. You know, put it on your throat, put it on your chest, so that you are using those lovely smells, the lovely benefits of the oils to help your respiratory system. Okay, so then we move on to a sore throat. Okay, now the sore throat is, I think, one of the worst besides earache, and that I find really, really tricky. Okay, sometimes when it's at the beginning, I find that traditional painkillers don't work. I find that Throat lozenges often don't work either for me. Okay, now what I will do is I will take 3 oils, lemon. It sounds as if I'm overdosing on oils, but I'm not, honestly. Lemon, eucalyptus and melaleuca, and I will get my honey, okay, alright, and I'll get a little egg cup and I'll put a smallish teaspoon of honey into the egg cup, okay. I'll put it in the microwave for about 10 seconds, and then I will drop in 1 drop of melaleuca, 1 drop of eucalyptus and 1 drop of lemon. Give it a little stir up, make sure it's not too hot because, you know, as you know, hot sugary substances are, you know, very, very dangerous. Okay, just test it with your little finger. Okay, and then once it's nicely stirred in and it's the right temperature, I then drink it. And because it's warm, it's runnier, okay, and it's more soothing, and you can feel it glide down your throat. And I actually literally put my head back like this and I allow it to glide down inside my throat. Okay, now I find that a fantastic way of solving my sore throat. It might not solve it the first time, but after 2 or 3 times that sore throat will have gone. Okay, it's another of my favourites. This is everything about my favourites of oils, if you haven't gathered already. Okay, so you can already see a theme of some of the different oils that I use. Alright, so another really great thing to have handy with you if you are perhaps doing some travelling, you're at work, you want something just quickly for in the car. These doTERRA, sorry it's all backwards, respiratory drops are really, really useful. Now in there is the Breathe essential oil. I'm just trying to find it here. Here we go. That one. So this is a blend called Breathe. I think it's now called Air in some places. And in this is lemon. Let me just check. Yeah, I don't want to tell you the information. Yeah, lemon and peppermint, eucalyptus, thyme and melissa. Okay, now that is a lovely, lovely blend, sorry, and is great for all of your asthma, cold, you know, blocked noses, whether it's a cold, whether it's hay fever. This is one of the great oils. Okay, now a lot of people, and I often do, when I was at my worst, I would use peppermint. All right, pure peppermint. Pop it on my hand, sniff it, put it on, you know, my throat, my chest, on the back here, really breathe it in. And I'd also even dip my tongue into it as well, the excess, because of course, as we know, the majority of doTERRA oils you can use internally, okay? But it is very, very strong for a lot of people. Okay, so often Breathe is a better option, okay, because it isn't perhaps so fiery as the peppermint on its own. Okay, now when you are struggling with a cold and you're snuffly, or you've got asthma or you hay fever and you're all blocked up, it's going to make it very, very difficult to get to sleep at night. Okay, so any of those combinations are winners at night. Okay, so you could have a diffuser going next to your bed or somewhere in the room if you wanted to, and they're brilliant because they're electric. They'll just turn off, you know, when the water runs out, they automatically turn off. Or you can put it on your pillow, your bed sheet, your duvet, breathe it in again as I've shown you before, which will really, really help you sleep. Now, luckily my husband's got used to it, got used to all these strange smells when I'm struggling with my colds, and he turns a blind eye now to it. But but what you've got to think about is, you know, getting a good night's sleep is really, really important for not only your recovery, but to be able to function as normally as possible the next day. And that's what you've got to really think about. It's about functioning as normally as you can the next day. Okay, so right, where have I got to? We're going to just go back to asthma again. All right, because, you know, when my cold starts to subside, that is when traditionally the asthma would start to kick in. Okay, so this is why, you know, I know my system. I know what works well for me. Now, there are other options on the market. Okay. Now, what I used to use, but I don't need to use it anymore, or I don't feel I need to use it anymore, is endocrine. Okay, now this is a blend. It comes in, you can get it in a bottle, in an oil, all right, or what I started to do was use the capsules. Okay, now in this you've got tangerine, rosemary, geranium, juniper berry, okay, and cilantro. Okay, so there we go. We've got juniper berry in there again. Okay, now the reason why, you know, I use endocrine is because it's a detoxification and is particularly good for my lungs. And so, you know, long-term longevity, long-term health, that is what I was trying to improve. And I feel that it has really, really helped. And it comes in a capsule, so it's easy to use. You can take them away with you a lot more easily. Okay, so that's endocrine. And I would just take one a day. You know, if you felt you needed a second one later in the day, you could do. But I would say only for a short period of time. Okay, now the other thing that actually I'm going to talk to you about with the hay fever. Okay, now hay fever, asthma, eczema are all related. Okay, they all come from the same family. All right, so you will often see in families a whole combination of these different things. So I had the asthma and the eczema. The rest of my family, my husband and my 2 kids, had the hay fever and the eczema, and my children had asthma. Okay, now this time of year, you know, my daughter, she gets her hay fever, she gets a summer cold, and she really struggles with both. And I know what process, and she's struggling with that at the moment. Okay, so there we go. We've got the seasonal hay fever that sets off the asthma, and then she gets a cold along with it. So you can see how it's all respiratory based. Okay, now a superb set of oils for hay fever, okay, is your traditional lemon, lavender and peppermint. Okay, now you can buy them individually, or you can buy them in a great little trio pack. And these little oils are fantastic for all household, all different jobs, within the home, within the family, for the pets, absolutely everything. So it's a great little trio of oils to take. Okay, now there's different ways that you can take these. All right, for convenience, and this is what I was showing you earlier, we've got Tri-Ease. Okay, now these are little capsules again with fractionated coconut oil and with lemon, lavender and peppermint in. Now they're really, really convenient. Personally, I'm not keen on them because I don't like the way they feel when they're lying on my stomach, in my stomach, and the capsule starts to break down and the oils are released. Okay, so there's different ways of taking it. Now, a very, very good way of taking it is, you know, especially if you don't like the flavour and you can't find anything to put it in, all right, is to put them on the soles of your feet. Okay, now why the soles of your feet? Well, you've got larger pores on the soles of your feet, and so your body is going to enter your bloodstream a lot more quickly through the soles of your feet. Okay, but it's about 1 drop of each on each sole. Okay, so you're going to use 2 drops of each for each application. All right, now it's not going to solve your hay fever. You know, what I'm talking about now is all about management. Okay, how you manage these different ailments. Okay, now for me, and this is, if people like honey, all right, this is the way I think it works really, really well. You can either have it warmed up, like with a sore throat, or just put some honey on a teaspoon, 1 drop of each, and take it by mouth. And you will start to feel the effects very, very quickly. Okay, and then that is the peppermint. Okay, and then the lemon and the lavender are going to give you extra support, cell rejuvenation, you know, help to calm you, help to uplift you, just generally help you feel a lot better. Okay, but again, as you feel that mixture of honey, lemon, lavender and peppermint go down, you will start to feel your nose to clear, and your lungs, you'll be able to breathe a lot better. And so for me, this is a very, very good way of managing your hay fever. Okay, now, you know, you will have to experiment with this. Okay, how often you need to take it, and everybody's different. Some people suffer all day with hay fever, some people suffer in the morning, some people suffer at night. It's about getting in touch with how your ailments, how they affect you, so that you can learn how to use them to help you feel a lot better. Okay, so that is about your hay fever. Now, also other oils that are very good for the respiratory system, which we've talked about before, are your eucalyptus, your breathe, and where is it? Rosemary. I haven't got it here at the moment. All right, sorry about that. Rosemary is a very, very good one as well. And rosemary is also good for concentration. All right, so if you are struggling with your concentration in the summer season with the hay fever, then have your rosemary with you. Use it in exactly the same way. Put it on your palm of your hand, breathe it in, put it on your pulse points. Yeah, you can put it here so that you can breathe it in. But because it's very good for respiratory, I would then as well put it on my throat and on my chest as well. Okay, so now we're going to move on to insect bites. All right, now some people really, really struggle with this at this time of year. And what I heard years and years ago, quite by accident, through conversation with friends, is that, you know, people say, well, I never get bitten. And people who eat a lot of garlic tend not to get bitten as much as people who don't use a lot of garlic, and that is because the insects don't like the taste of your blood when you're eating a lot of garlic. So there's one remedy already, plus garlic's going to be good for you anyway. Okay, so another good option is Terra Shields, okay, or repellent blend. Okay, now this has got a whole host of great oils in it, a lot of bark oils, okay, and arbor-vitae in it, also vanilla and ylang ylang in it as well. And this comes as a little spray bottle. All right, now instead of putting all that nasty insecticide all over you, yeah, it doesn't smell great, all right, but it's going to be a lot nicer on your body. All right, and spray it all over before you go out. With having 2 dogs, walking in the summer, you tend to get bitten quite a lot, you know, on your arms, on your legs, wherever they can reach you. And so spray yourself with that, but then wash your hands before you go out. All right, now rub it all over. What I've even done sometimes is then use the excess, just rubbing it over my dogs, okay, to sort of keep the insects away from them, and less likely to get ticks and things as well. Okay, so that is really, really good for as an insect repellent. Now, if you do get bitten, all right, lavender and melaleuca are excellent. Okay, now you know what it's like when you get an insect bite, how itchy it is. Okay, the lavender is going to help calm the itching, and the melaleuca is going to help the inflammation. Okay, so you rub it right on the bite and around the surrounding bite. Okay, and use that until the symptoms start to subside. Okay, now every few hours put it on after you've had a bath. Okay, and they are excellent to help with your insect bites. Okay, now sunburn. Okay, we know we should be looking after our skin when we're out in the sun. There's no excuse, but sometimes you're caught unawares. Okay, so again, lavender oil. You can put it in a spray bottle with some water and spray it on, or you can put it on directly if you've got small areas. All right, very, very good. And you use that until the effects of sunburn start to subside. And of course, the other great thing for sunburn is aloe vera. So, you know, if you have a house full of plants, you may have an aloe vera plant, just cut the aloe vera leaf off, cut it open, and literally rub it on your skin. And it's amazing how quickly that, you know, the effects of the sunburn will start to drop very, very quickly. So, a lot of information there, I know, but I'm going to write some things down in the comments, but you can also always, you know, rewatch the video. And it's just a different way of using, you know, what is available out there. Very, very natural products. Now, if you are a asthma sufferer, okay, these can be used with your inhalers, and then when you feel confident, you can perhaps start to cut out the inhaler. Discuss it with your asthma nurse. Okay, I was very lucky to have an asthma nurse who liked essential oils. All right, but yes, it's important to talk about it. Okay, if you're a hay fever sufferer, then use your hay fever medication, but sometimes it doesn't always work for people, and use this as well until you feel confident about using it. Okay, and so this is what's great about essential oils. In whichever format you're using them, you know, for whatever reason you are using them, you know, you can, the majority of the time, use them with your prescribed medication. If you're not sure, then to check with your health professional and to get the advice off them. And like I said before, that does depend on whether they are keen on essential oils as well. But I hope you found that useful. As you can see, I'm a big user of essential oils, and I have found them hugely beneficial, as well as, of course, for, you know, helping to relax, helping to sleep, help reduce anxiety and stress, helping get focus, you know, all of those different things. But if you want to find out more, then just send me a personal message and we can set up a conversation and to see how the oils can support you with your health, and then hopefully we can go from there and sort something out for you. So I'm going to love you and leave you now. Have a lovely evening, have a great week, and I will speak to you again next Wednesday. Bye bye now.